My name is Kelly Neuls, and I run a small sewing studio in between Chicago and Milwaukee. I usually call myself a costumer, seamstress, tailor, draper, or the very general maker of stuff. Well, making costumes for theater, opera, film, and television takes an army of people. There's a costume designer who talks to the director and comes up with what everyone should look like. They have an assistant sometimes who will help with paperwork and shopping and whatnot. They have there's a costume shop manager who manages the shop where they're going to make everything and fit the costumes on the actors and do all the alterations. There's a draper who's in charge of making patterns and running the team. The first hand who usually cuts out anything that needs to be cut out of fabric. And then stitchers who stitch things together. And then everybody does alterations for things that are purchased. Every single garment gets touched, no matter what it is. A costumer is usually a generic term we use to describe all of those jobs. I started sewing in high school. My mom was trying to teach me, but I wanted to break all the rules and do whatever I wanted. Nothing's changed. Unsurprisingly, nothing ever worked out. And she washed her hands of me. I basically learned what worked and didn't work by making and failing. I kept making and failing and improving over many, many years. I went to college and tried some career paths, teaching, office jobs, retail, but I didn't really like any of them very much. I decided at 30 that if I had to work for 40 more years, it needed to be at something I didn't hate quite so much. Since I'd always loved making costumes, and I've been doing community theater and some semi-professional theater after I was done with school, I knew I liked it and I just made a leap. I spent a year at DePaul University in Chicago in their BFA costume technology program. Since I already had a BS in education, I thought I'd be able to get through it at an accelerated rate. Turns out not so much. So I spent a year there, and then that gave me the basics I needed to get into graduate school at the University of Illinois in Urbana-Champaign, where I got a Master of Fine Arts degree and, more importantly, made some contacts so that I was able to get jobs. No 2 days are exactly the same. I have a wide variety of skills, and I use them to help me solve whatever challenge is presented to me that day. No 2 days are exactly the same. You can't phone it in. You have to concentrate and you have to think everything through before you start, or you will discover you've made a mistake that won't reveal itself until 20 steps down the road. It isn't the kind of job you can just do your time and then get out. Consequently, it's exhausting, both mentally and physically. And because people don't really understand the job, they think it's like what your grandma does, making quilts and stuff. And it's not that quilting's not difficult, but it's a lot more complicated than that. And, you know, it's fun, but it's still a job. Coolest is in the eye of the beholder, but one of the things I like best about the job is being around other creative people and being able to see or at least hear performances that I might not have had access to. In grad school, because all the theater spaces had monitors that would play in the shop, I got to listen to concerts and performances. Sir James Galloway was there one night, Sweet Honey in the Rock, the Carolina Chocolate Drops, and even Nick Offerman was there doing a comedy tour, and we listened to that while we worked. That I did a pair of alterations on a pair of pants for Simon Callow, CBE. Look it up. I have so much advice. Start early, learning to sew, but also to draw. This will help you to see in proportion and balance. So when you look at a garment or a pattern, you'll be more likely to see the issues before you've gone too far. Also, be organized and curious. Mind your calendar. Be where you say you're going to be when you say you're going to be there. Treat everyone like they're your boss. 99% of the entertainment industry is who you know, because it's really about who will vouch for you. I haven't had to interview for a job in the last 5 years because when there's an opening, someone says, hey, I'm looking for a blank. does anybody know anything? And someone in the room who's worked with me will go, hey, Kelly lives nearby or is willing to travel or I know is available. Let me get her information. And then that's it. You're in. If someone's willing to vouch for you, that can go a really, really, really long way. And it's not necessarily that I'm the best, although I am, but you know, I'm dependable, funny, easygoing, reliable. I mean, I can get the job done on time. So people are more likely to refer me than they would be if I was really technically good, but not dependable or not funny or easygoing or whatever. So be nice to people. I mean, that's just a general good rule of thumb.